Oh, snap. What's up? Good morning. Welcome to an emergency edition of the Cohn Phone presented by the Sleeper app. Myles Garrett, if you haven't heard, requested a trade this morning. Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett, future Hall of Fame defensive end Myles Garrett, first pick in the draft 2017. Niners would have had Myles Garrett had Chip Kelly not won a game at the end of the season. That was so selfish. Now Chip Kelly's with the Raiders. Going to talk about that a little bit later. Love you to call in. The link's in the description. But first, I'm going to tell you what I think about this Myles Garrett news. Let's start first with the cons, why they shouldn't trade for Myles Garrett. Well, he's going to be 30 next year. And he's expensive. And the Niners really aren't one player away. This is kind of a move that a team like Washington, a team that was in the NFC Championship, or the AFC Championship, like Buffalo. This is a move that those teams make. Detroit. We were one move away. Forget the future. Forget our draft picks. Let's trade two first-round picks for Myles Garrett. The Niners aren't one player away. I don't even know that they think they're one player away. Okay, that's why you wouldn't do it. Now let's talk about why you would do it. They really stink at drafting in the first round. Here are some picks the Niners have made in the top 15 under Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. Mike McGlinchey, Solomon Thomas, Javon Kinlaw, Trey Lance. Now, they did get Nick Bosa. That was a no-brainer pick, but the Niners are at 11. This is going to take a brain. This is going to be a definite brainer pick. And it's the Niners. Do you have any confidence in the 49ers picking the right player at 11? I don't. I mean, I don't have any confidence in picking the right player at either. This is a crapshoot. I mean, the right guy could be a left tackle with a torn ACL right now, or the right guy could be a freaking tight end or a corner. I don't know, but I don't think they know either. And even if they get the right guy at 11, which is unlikely for this organization, is the right guy at 11 going to be as good as Myles Garrett? This is a future Hall of Famer. This is the best defensive end in the league, not one of the best, not the best edge rusher, the best complete defensive end in the league. He makes Nick Bosa seem like a quaint, cute player. He'd be a cool sidekick for Myles Garrett. I mean, Myles Garrett is a better player than Trent Williams was in his prime. Prime Myles Garrett beats prime Trent Williams. And I think Trent Williams would tell you that. Why not bring this guy on the team? Especially if you don't bring him, you're going to have to go through him and Washington or Arizona or whoever team gets him. You got to make up ground. You're not one player away, but if you don't trade for him, you're really far back. And what's the point of having one of the oldest teams in the league, which the Niners have, if you're not going to make a move like this? Yeah, bringing in more youth is important, but you're not doing a rebuild. You're not really trying to get younger. You're keeping this team together. You're running it back for the 9th year in a row. You have Kyle Juszczyk still on the team. You have a lot of guys in their 30s. Why not trade Luka Doncic for Myles Garrett? I think it's more on your timeline. Look, if the Lakers can get Luka Doncic for a 31-year-old Anthony Davis, I think anything is possible in sports right now. So why don't we talk about what the Niners would have to give up? Once upon a time when the Bears traded for Khalil Mack, who was 27 at the time, they traded like 2 firsts and a third plus that for Khalil Mack in a second. So let's say the starting bid is 2 firsts. Would you do that? 2 firsts? Well, the first this year is 11. And if you get Myles Garrett and you bounce back next year, like a lot of people think the Niners will, with a healthier team and an easier schedule, it's quite likely they're in the playoffs next year and picking 24th or 25th or 26th or 27th. So would you trade pick 11 and 27 for Myles Garrett? I mean, maybe if your general manager was Howie Roseman, maybe the answer is no. Because you're feeling like, man, we got the best general manager in the league. He could really get a couple of Pro Bowl players. He could get a Hall of Fame player with the 11th pick. Give him a chance. But with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and their track record, yeah, I would make the trade. I would. Because, again, at least you get Myles Garrett. He's under contract for 2 more years. You could keep him on the team for the rest of his career, and he'd be your new Trent Williams, your best player. I mean, I don't know that trading for Myles Garrett makes him the Super Bowl favorite. In fact, it wouldn't. but it would be a good start. And, if they don't want to first, if they want a player or two, you could trade him Brock Purdy. All right. It's your turn. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Luis B., you're on. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, Grant? How you doing? Good morning.
How you doing?
Man, it's been a while. Excuse me. How you doing today, Grant?
I'm good, man. You got some news to discuss. That's always fun.
Yes, man. Yes, I do. My first topic, man. The Niners, they really should. The reason why I believe they should is because they talk about they always want to get better, right? And what's the best possible way without getting the best reigning defensive player of the year, dude? Like, think of this. My thoughts: if they go and get Myles Garrett, they're gonna have one of the top defensive linemen in the NFL
Of all time.
Exactly. Excuse me, I'm just a little bit under the weather.
It's okay. It's that time of year.
But yeah. Um, Second, I believe that they should trade that 11th pick for Myles Garrett. And the reason for that, I just heard you talk about it right now. The Niners don't really have any success with drafting in the first round. And
Right?
And it's crazy because they only had, and you just said it, Nick Bosa was the only one that we drafted that came out good, like literally. And
Yeah. No one
I
else
don't
got
know.
a second draft pick. No one else got a second contract.
The only thing that I could think of, Grant, is that I think they should, but deep down inside, I don't think they are. And
No.
the reason why I said that they are because I just feel like this organization, they get really stagnant and they get really complacent. And that's one thing I really don't like about our team right now. The fact that
Well,
still have
here's
Debo on
another
this team.
thing. Here's another thing.
Okay,
I think he's going to want a new
go ahead.
contract. He's got no guaranteed money left on his contract, 2 years left on his deal. Trent Williams in the same place last year. Christian McCaffrey was in the same place last year. They got restructured deals with guaranteed money. I'm thinking he's going to want a restructured deal with guaranteed money coming off a Defensive Player of the Year season. And I'm thinking maybe Cleveland wouldn't give it to him, or maybe he doesn't want it from Cleveland. One way or another, this could be, if you trade for Myles Garrett, you might have to give him a lot of money, a signing bonus, and the Niners are earmarking that for Brock Purdy this offseason. I'd much rather have Myles Garrett than Brock Purdy, but that's just me.
No, I completely agree with you. And the reason why I feel like, man, it's just hard because, like, if I was the GM, I'd be running this team totally different. I would have been got rid of Debo, but we can't get rid of Debo until before what is it, post June 1st or
June
pre June
1st, post June
1st?
1st. Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, I just get very disappointed with this team, man, to be honest. And not only that, I don't know if you've seen like all these posts about the NFL being rigged with the NFL Chiefs right now with the Chiefs. It's just crazy. It's crazy, man.
Well,
Um,
all we need is the
but
Chiefs to get him, and then that would really fuel those rumors.
yeah, I think at that point, I think everybody would just be like, "Yeah, no, I'm done."
All right,
But
Luis, man.
yeah, yeah. But next time, I'll jump on. I got a few more topics I want to talk about, but I'll say that for next time. But I know you got other callers. Yes, mamas. But hey, have a good day.
All
I'll
right,
chat
man.
with you next time.
All right, good to see you, Luis. Always a pleasure.
All right.
All my Cohn phone guys are grown up, got kids now. Shady Luke says your guys' team needs a better O-line and more depth. It's true. That is a reason not to trade for Myles Garrett. Definitely need a lot more players than Myles Garrett. That being said, the Niners could draft an offensive lineman with the 11th pick and completely whiff. They did that. They've done that already. Deshaun DeVoe says, sorry, everyone, you're not getting Myles Garrett. You're paying Purdy. That's not fun. No one wants to hear that. Andrew D., turn your camera on if you want to be on the show. Are you ready? Andrew D., what's up, dude?
What's up, Grant? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Freshly married, just got back. So
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, in Querétaro, Mexico. It's quite fun. So yeah, it's a good time.
My brother got married in Sayulita, Mexico. I don't know if they're close. But they're both
I've heard you say, yeah, that's not too far. I've heard you say that in the past. So yeah, no, it was a blast. My sister got married in Cabo 2 years ago now at this point. So
nice.
anyway, yeah.
She's
so
in the
yeah,
Cabo clique too.
She just might be. Yeah, no, I kept my head on a swivel when I was there. But no, no, didn't want to. No, anyway, I don't know about all this. Well, I mean, with Myles Garrett, I just don't think they're going to be able to afford him, quite simply. But we'll see what happens. And I mean, maybe they could get rid of one of the which receivers, like we talked about. I mean, we with either Debo or Brandon. I don't
Let
know. I
Greenlaw
mean,
go. Let Hufanga go. Cut Hargrave.
yes, yeah,
Cut
yeah.
Juszczyk.
Well,
You can make. They have $50 million in cap space.
they can make it happen. The question is, are they going to do it? I mean, they're with them being so loyal to who they want to be loyal to, and I don't know. The only ones I'd want to keep out of those would be probably Greenlaw and Hufanga.
Yeah.
Everybody else can take a walk, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think more than that, though. I wanted to catch it the other day on the call in, but I was too much going on. But I think they just need, and they've been ignoring it forever. We all know this. Just the beef on the O line and the D line. I think they do. Without that, I mean, sure they can go get a Myles Garrett, but what's going to stop them from getting rid up on the second level again, like making Fred run around like a maniac, tackling everybody, because they just can't stop the first 3 yards are just getting blown back in their face. So I don't know until that gets addressed. I don't
True.
really think anything.
You could have Nick Bosa and Myles Garrett and still not be able to stop the run between the tackles,
correct,
which means you don't get a chance to rush the quarterback, and as you're paying all this money for nothing.
There you go. So that's the thing. I don't know. I'm a little apprehensive to see what happens, and then I'm here in Detroit, and I think that these Lions probably going to go after somebody like Myles Garrett too. I mean, I don't know why they didn't. I mean, I know they got Zadarius Smith at the deadline, and that ended up working out well for them, but maybe they should have went after somebody like a Myles Garrett just in case, because they don't need to pay Hutchinson yet either. So they got some wiggle room. I don't know. I think there's a few players in there for Myles Garrett.
I just feel like he's such a great player that where he goes, like, that'll shift the balance of power in the NFL. He's that kind of a guy.
I do too. I think that's why he kind of wants out of the
conversation.
AFC too, because these quarterbacks, like, he's not going to be, with his team for sure, they're not going to get anywhere. And then
God forbid he goes to the Eagles. You're screwed.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the Niners, I don't know if they're going to be in play for them. We'll see. But more importantly, I think they need to get some O&D lines, just some serious beef, because without that, I think, well, we'll see. I think with Salah being back, I think it's going to help tremendously as far as going back to what they used to do. So but I think they need some beef, whether it comes from new guys, but Hargrave needs to probably go. I don't think he was the fit to begin with. So I think they were overreaching with that. But
I think most Niner fans want the Niners to take a defensive tackle with their first pick, Walter Nolan or Mason Graham.
I've heard
and I get that because you look at Jalen Carter.
I'm not sure about the Michigan kids, but
I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah.
But I get it. But to me, it seems like the Niners kind of have to take an offensive lineman. And here's my thing. I mean, it doesn't mean maybe that's a bad thing, but here's why I say it.
Yeah.
Last year, they haven't taken an offensive tackle since 2021. Last year, we asked John about it, like, how come? Why didn't you take one? He was like, well, we would have loved to take an offensive tackle, but we were drafting 31st, and you can't always find a really good starting offensive tackle this late in the first round. Okay, fair enough. You're right. Now you're drafting 11th. And you may not be drafting this high again for a while if this really was just a one-off down year and you're going to get healthy and be back in the playoffs. So when are you going to get this offensive tackle? Trent's going to be 37. He just missed 7 games with an ankle bruise. A bruise, Andrew, that never quite healed. And he injures his ankle like every freaking year. So they may have to, which is kind of a scary position to be in.
I since the moment they've gotten Trent Williams, I said, okay, and what's your backup plan? Because this guy's already had to step away from the game once in Washington. So what do you do?
The backup plan's a free agent.
He just walks on water. He's
Jalen Moore, free agent. All the more reason.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, Colton McKivitz came to play last year. I don't know what he just took a step forward.
He's graded on a curve because they pay him less than they pay freaking Kyle Juszczyk. But yeah,
you kind of look at him nicely. But I don't know.
He got a phone call. I'll tell you right now, he got a phone call. Someone's calling him. He's trying to figure out, what do I do? What do I do? He's kind of panicked a little bit, or he's gone. The phone could have died. We may never find out. Andrew, it was a pleasure to meet you. Congratulations on your nuptials. You're living in Detroit. Must be. Andrew, he's back. I knew you were coming back, man. Did you get a phone call? He doesn't see us, but we see him. This is dangerous. Do you know you're on television? Hello? Andrew. What's up?
I lost you.
I'll
call you back.
All right. Have a good one, man. Okay, we got Aeneas, Caesar, Amp, Nick. That's the new Q order. Aeneas, you're a regular. Where you walking around?
Now I'm walking back to campus. I just got out of class, and
Where you at school?
I go to U of L, but I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, so that's why I've always liked the.
You said U of O?
U of L, University of Louisville.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool.
I'm
Interesting.
from Nevada, but
All right.
what you think? Could we get? Could we trade Debo? Get Myles Garrett? I could like this.
Debo for Myles Garrett straight up. Who says no? I don't know.
Not just Debo. We could throw a Jake Moody's trash shelf in there. We could throw a couple other. You feel me? Just like how the.
Hey, how about this? How about Kyle? How about Kyle for Myles Garrett straight up? Boom.
Oh.
How about that? Straight up. You got Salah back. You got your head coach.
But
who says no?
I don't know. I think it's probably unlikely because I feel like we probably need to get a DM probably in the draft, but it definitely would be a good route. What you think?
I'm all for it, man. I mean, they're the worst team in their division. They lost to the Cardinals twice last year. You're way behind the Washington Commanders and the Eagles. If you don't do this, you're behind the Lions. You're behind the Vikings and the Rams. You're way down in the NFC. If you don't do this, you're just counting on nailing this 11th pick in the draft. Why? Why would you be that confident that you're going to get this pick right?
Yeah,
given your pattern.
Especially because we need them to go O-line. We don't need them to go D-line in the first round. We need to protect Brock. If we really think Brock's going to be the future, we got to protect this man.
True. Do you really think Brock's the future?
I wouldn't invest in Brock, but I think the Niners front office is probably going to do it.
Yeah, but does that mean they really think he's the future? I mean, we've seen a lot of teams give big contracts to quarterbacks and then get rid of them 2 years later. Giants with Daniel Jones, Eagles with Carson Wentz.
That is true because we know how injury-prone Brock is. All it takes like 2 more times before Kyle starts.
Or one.
Before the Jimmy can't go because that's the last one.
We love Jimmy. He just can't stay healthy. Yeah, you love him.
That's why if we draft like a quarterback like Will Howard or Dylan Gabriel at the Senior Bowl, I wouldn't mind it. Even though we got way bigger needs to fill.
Where are you taking us?
I'm in my dorm right now, my house.
Oh, okay. Can you give us a little tour of University of Louisville real quick before you go inside?
Oh, okay.
No, before you go inside.
I got you.
Yeah. Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. University of Louisville, baby.
Yeah, dub. Hey, just keep me posted. Let us know who the tackle is going to be. Is it Josh?
All right, Aeneas, I'm gonna let you go, dude.
All right, for sure.
Have a good one, man. That was fun. University of Louisville. Joey Mellon says no, bro. LOL. Yes, bro. LOL. Caesar, what's up?
What's up, Grant?
How you doing?
Long time watcher, first time caller. Finally get a call live. Nice. I just think all these free agents that are coming up, it's a day late, $1 short. A lot of dead cap coming up, restructures that aren't helping the team, and like you've mentioned before, and on the other with Jesse and all that, debt is a big key. Bosa couldn't last the whole season because he was asked to do way too much. So, Myles Garrett sounds nice and pretty, but I'm all like, it's gonna end the same way. It's another Kyle ending season. I like
True.
the
Plus,
Kyle
we all
trade.
know that the Lakers are going to end up with Myles Garrett anyway. So what's the point?
Yeah, we'll see them all. LA is crazy right now. They're all celebrating the
I can
trade.
only imagine, dude. I can only imagine. That's a big basketball town.
I'm not a Laker fan, but I hear all the Laker fans around me. Like, yeah. So
I was at UCLA during the height of the Kobe time, and it was just like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Kobe was a great.
Anyway, I was there for that. Good time.
But yeah, man. I just think like all this hype it sounds good, but fans getting crazy, and we still don't know what Purdy's gonna be, and see what they decide to pay him. But I'm ready to let go of Kyle. Shanahan's got to go.
Trade him for Myles Garrett straight up.
That'd be great. That'd be
very
great. But
he'd have to sign off on the trade to Cleveland. Hey, Kyle, you get to go coach Deshaun Watson. Good luck.
Deshaun Watson for Debo. Got backup. We need a backup.
No, I'll keep Debo. Thanks.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your time, and I appreciate your work, dude. Have a good one.
Thanks a lot, man. Have a good one.
Man.
All right, we got Amp, Nick, Nathan Reyes, and NorCal Ben. Nick, you pulled over. I appreciate it. I mean, Amp, you pulled over. I appreciate it. How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, Grant?
Pretty good. What do you think of the news today?
Oh man, not surprising. We kind of knew Myles Garrett didn't want to be there, so I
I wouldn't
mean,
want
it
to be
was
there.
inevitable. No, I can't blame
I don't think
him.
anyone wants to be there. He just has the power to get out.
Oh yeah, top tier talent on the edge. I mean, it's worth taking a phone call, seeing what Cleveland wants.
It's his
I
job.
mean,
Your job is to at least pick up the phone and say, what's it going to take?
you have
2
to.
1s, 3 1s. What's it going to take? I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. You would think they would do that, but can't take anything for granted the way they run the organization. But um, nobody is really talking about potential of trading Nick Bosa for Myles Garrett.
I like that.
Why
I
not?
like that. Because if they want multiple first round picks, that could be tough. You might want to keep those. It's an older team. But there are some people in the organization who are worth maybe 1 or 2 first round picks. I don't know if Bosa's still worth it, but he might be. And if he is, why would you not do that trade?
I mean, he's a little overrated, right? I mean, am I wrong for
He had like
saying
9
that?
sacks last year.
Yeah, look at Myles Garrett's numbers every year. Who else is on the D line with him?
Myles
Always hear the
Garrett is just better than
comments.
Bosa. He's bigger than Bosa. He has longer arms than Bosa. He's more athletic than Bosa. He bends better than Bosa. He's stronger than Bosa. He's better than Bosa.
Yeah, but in Cleveland's eyes, they may not see it that way. They may see it alike
Well,
for like.
Cleveland, man, what are their options here? Hold on to Garrett, who doesn't want to be there? I mean, you're going to lose this trade, Cleveland. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely. When a player demands a trade,
You're out.
you're instantly gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
He's made it public already.
This
if
is
it's
what you
private,
get for giving Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract. Like the repercussions are still happening.
oh yeah, and who knows what's gonna happen with him? He tore his Achilles again, right?
Again.
Wow.
That's why I feel like the head coach over there is a bad job, but also has a great job because you can't ever fire him because he has every excuse. Like, I didn't sign Deshaun Watson. You did. And then, anyway. Trade for Myles
Yeah,
Garrett.
sounds like the long list of excuses we give Kyle every year.
Yeah, that's true. Kevin Stefanski, didn't he win this? He won at least one Coach of the Year over there to doing God knows what.
Yeah, I think it was was it last year or no, year before?
With Flacco. People like the Flacco story.
Yeah, I mean, really, why did he win Coach of the Year for that, really?
Because of Deshaun Watson.
God, it wasn't that great of a job, in my opinion.
No.
But but John Lynch, does he have the courage to make that phone call and put Nick Bosa on the trading block?
No. And do the Yorks the stomach to pay a signing bonus for Myles Garrett and Brock Purdy in the same offseason and Kittle?
So is Bosa in the Cabo clique, or is the Cabo clique still a thing now?
I don't know if they still vacation together. They might not even like each other anymore. I don't know.
I mean, I don't see why they would at this point.
They can gather around for a week and talk about all their great memories from the Super Bowls. Hey, remember that one time that we played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and we were winning? Remember that? What happened next? What happened next?
Hey, if I'm New York's 6-win season, nobody's going to Cabo.
Amp, good stuff, man. I got to keep him pushing.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Jonathan Joy all day 00 says Max Crosby or Myles Garrett. I mean, either one would be great. Myles Garrett's better. He's the best, but Max Crosby's also better than Nick Bosa. So either one. You could trade Bosa for either one. You could trade Kyle for either one. Although the Raiders, they have Chip Kelly now, so they don't need Kyle. NorCal Benny G says, you can dance, you can jive. What's up, G? What's up, Pat D says, do we remember McGlinchey LOL 9th overall and couldn't pass block for nothing? Dude, when he would try to pass block, he was so slow that he would like lunge out there to try to, and then he would just get caught off balance and tossed. And there'd be these pictures of him completely parallel to the ground, airborne, that no offensive tackle should ever be caught like that. But that was McGlinchey Weekly. All right, Nick, Nathan Reyes, JC, DJ Adams, and Eric. What's up, Nick?
What's up, Grant?
How you doing?
Long-time listener, first-time caller. I just wanted to say you get a lot of hate, but you do a really good job. Just want to say that.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Also, when you brought up the McGlinchey thing just now, the only thing that comes to my head is when he got picked up by Parsons in the playoffs. That was it. You remember that when he just got ragdolled?
Hey, real quick, are you talking through iPod speakers?
Yeah.
AirPod speakers?
You want me to take it out?
Don't take the just do regular because you sound like you're underwater.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, way better. Thank you. Way better.
Yeah,
Yep.
no problem. Yeah, so that's the only thing that comes from McGlinchey when he got ragdolled by Parsons. But I hear you guys on the whole trade Nick Bosa for Myles Garrett. The only thing I would say is, wouldn't the reason you'd be getting a Myles Garrett is to add him to the Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and stuff, like that? So that stuff just kind of doesn't really work for me.
And like,
Even though,
would Garrett even want to join the team if it came at the expense of Bosa? That's the whole thing, right?
It's like I'd rather just go to the Commanders at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, I mean, it would be nice, but what would the package even look like for Garrett? Because like the Niners aren't giving up their first round pick. They need that. They really do need that. Like
Kyle
I don't think
Shanahan, straight up.
Yeah, but like you say, he's got to sign off on that. And
He would never want to go to Cleveland. Yeah.
Kyle would rather do TV than go coach the Cleveland Browns.
I would rather do TV than go coach Cleveland.
He would just be like, hey, Amazon, remember that contract you were going to give McVay? How about you just give me that? I just won't coach anymore.
Can you imagine having Deshaun Watson as your quarterback and he shows up to work on a Tuesday and you're like, God, he's still here. Like, why are you still here? Go away. No one wants you here.
Yeah. So Myles Garrett would be nice, but I don't think the Niners have the package to give Cleveland what they want. Because if it's picks, like, what are we going to do? The Trey Lance thing for Myles Garrett? Go 2 first.
Well, that's my thing is like the Niners are so bad at drafting in first round. Like, why not? So you want to keep the pick so you can take the next Mike McGlinchey, the next Javon Kinlaw, the next Trey Lance?
Yeah, exactly. And the Kinlaw thing is like you had Tristan Wirfs sitting right in front of your face.
Yeah.
And you didn't need
McGlinchey, you had Minka and Derwin sitting right there.
Yeah, you had
Trey Lance, you had Penei Sewell and Jamar Chase sitting right there. You don't know. So, you if you get this right, it'll be blind luck anyway.
Right. So Myles Garrett would be great. I just don't think they could have the package to get him. I don't think it's possible, to be honest.
Where are you living?
New York.
I knew it. Myles Garrett. You're in New York. Where in New York? New York City?
Long Island.
Long Island. Where in Long Island?
Suffolk County.
Okay. So is that close to where Juszczyk's from?
So actually,
he's Massapequa, right?
My brother's wife, her best friend is her cousin, his wife.
Oh.
Yeah. We were gonna go out to sit in the box with them for the Bears game. But I was
gonna sit in the box with the Juszczyks?
Yeah, and
if you ever hang out with them, tell them I say what's up, and I wish them the best.
I will.
Thank you, Nick.
I know your history. So
I'm a big fan. I like fullbacks though. I'm just a fullback kind of guy.
So when we were gonna do that, I was like, dude, they're 6-11. I'm not wasting the time to go out. I'm not. I can't do it.
Hey guys, thanks for the invitation, but I got laundry to do. Have a great time.
And also, I also said last year, I was like, can we just cut Kyle? Like, save the $3.5 million and just get rid of him. So I'm not sure if I was even welcome there anymore. After that.
I still think they should do that. Sorry, Kyle. It's in the best interest of the organization. I think
exactly.
You have to agree.
Yeah.
Nick, good call.
Thanks, Greg. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Yeah. I always appreciate a good New Yorker calling in, man. It always spices up the show. Jewish guy says Debo Hargrave, 4th would be in Cat. Yeah, for sure. I like that. Let's call him up. Do we remember McGlinchey? Oh, yeah, we got you. All right, Nathan Reyes, I see your hair. Are you ready? He's ready, man. What's up, Nathan?
What up, Grant?
How you doing?
Good. This is crazy. I've been watching you since 2020, and this is barely my first time calling.
Damn. Well, thanks for calling in.
Oh, for sure. So I have like 2 questions about the trade, and they kind of link to each other. So do you think we're still fully in win now mode? Because if so, I feel like getting Myles Garrett is a move we need to make to pair up with Nick Bosa, because the defense is falling apart. We're losing stars. It's not what it used to be. And with the secondary mainly falling apart, that's the second part I want to talk about, because the secondary was like a top 5 unit just a couple of years ago, but Steve Wilkes leaving, Travarius Ward declined. He's gone now. Talanoa Funga probably gone. Jair Brown, terrible. So what are your thoughts on these topics?
Are they still in win now mode? I think they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think they think, hey, man, everything that could have went wrong last year went wrong. Season started off on the wrong foot with holdouts. We can control that. No more holdouts. A lot of injury, bad luck. That won't happen 2 years in a row. Plus, we had the wrong defensive coordinator and special teams coordinator. We upgraded big time at both those spots. McCaffrey's coming back. Greenlaw, but everything's going to be fine. And I don't know if I agree with that at all. To me, you got like an issue in your locker room and with the culture. And it's an old team that's injury prone anyway. They could be injured again next year.
When you said they think that like, oh, it's going to be different, no injuries. It's the same thing every year. The injuries always pile up.
Oh, Trent Williams isn't going to get hurt this year.
Oh.
He's not.
He's a bookend for like 4 games. 4 games.
Yeah. So I would want to like actually make bigger changes. I was in favor of getting rid of the coach and actually starting over, but they're not going to do that. They're sticking with their older team. So go get Myles freaking Garrett, dude. I mean, the best moves that this organization has made under Kyle and John, Christian McCaffrey, trading for him, trading for Trent Williams. This would kind of be another Hall of Fame talent, although he'd be better than those two.
Can we afford to even get him though with the cap with Brock? Like that, I know it's a win now move. So how long could we theoretically keep him on?
You could afford it, but maybe it costs you Brock, in which case, deuces, Brock. Really appreciate everything you've done. Really hope you enjoy.
I'm a big
Cleveland
Brock guy, but at the same time, I know that he's not like top 5 quarterback. He doesn't deserve all that money either. So I was relieved when the rumors came out that they're not even trying to offer him like a max contract, you know?
I mean, they can find someone else to like throw 27 passes a game and come on.
Sam
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, or you could get someone cheap to do all that. Myles Garrett is actually worth the money and the draft capital, and
well, that was what they did with Brock. They went cheap at quarterback. Why not just repeat the same thing and keep building a better team? If the system that it was working, why not?
And be honest about why you like Brock. It's not that you really thought Brock was elite. It's that he was cheap and it allowed you to keep your team together.
I think Kyle just wants to think he found his guy, and the organization wants to say they found their guy.
I'm sure they want to think that. We all want to think that, but it's not the case.
Yeah, definitely.
It just ain't. Nathan, great call, man. Thanks for calling in. You did a good job.
Easy.
People bringing it today. Now we got JC. I think we've had JC before. What's up, JC?
Yeah, I've called in a few times.
Absolutely. Good to have you back. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I'm wondering about this Myles Garrett thing. You just said something, said it's an older team getting there. Well, Myles Garrett fit right in. He's 29. I mean, let's sign him to 10 years. He got another good 10 years to him, Trent Williams,
yeah, you want to have as much gray on the team as possible.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, there you go.
It works.
It does.
So yeah, we might as well give up all the first round picks because, well, I think when oh crap, now the defensive coach, he just escaped my name,
Saleh.
the guy Saleh just came back. When he was picking, I think he was probably going, all right, I want a defensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle saying, I'll pick him out for you. I don't think Kyle gives up anything in the first 3 rounds, and he is not a talent evaluator.
Think about this, though. When Saleh wanted a D-end in 2019, they traded for D Ford. When Saleh wanted a D-end last year, the Jets traded for Hassan Reddick. Maybe this is something that Saleh would want to do. Like, hey, instead of us trying to guess which edge rusher is going to be the best out of the 11th pick or in the 2nd round, let's just get the best edge rusher in football. Who's in?
Yeah, I don't know, but I do know that Saleh creates a good defensive culture, even at the Jets. They had a good, solid defense. And I do hope that he quells it because Kyle's admitted, I'm not a coach. I give you $4 million. I shouldn't have to coach you. You should just be there.
It's true.
One
more thing to think about with Myles Garrett. He's been playing in the wide 9 defense for like the last 2-3 years. He would fit the scheme.
I didn't know that
even matters, but they've been running that over in Cleveland too with Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, but it just doesn't make any sense. And yeah, I don't know. I'd go with what Saleh wants because I would trust him.
Good call.
He knows.
Don't let Kyle make this decision. It's up to Saleh.
Yeah.
But if Saleh wants my input, I would say you can trade for him. But he hasn't asked me yet. Maybe you will.
Yeah, hasn't.
If people want, if he asks for my input, I'll let people know that I made the trade. But I haven't made it yet.
Yeah.
AC, good call.
And I want to talk a little bit about Brock Purdy.
Okay, let's talk.
I want to play his agent.
Okay.
All right. Well, my client, he had a down year. We started out the first 4 games with the top 5 rusher. And we went from 6 yards to 3, less than 3. And then my client's favorite downstream target, Ayuk, gone. We got these slow ass receivers, and I watched that Rams game. That wasn't Purdy did everything to win that game. If Debo can't catch the ball for crap, he hit him in the hands with nobody between him and the goal line twice.
Here's the problem, though. If we give your client all the money he wants, this is going to be the team around him for the foreseeable future.
Okay, now I think Brock Purdy might do I'm not really sure, but I think it's a Tom Brady thing. I want to give up some money, but I want say over the offensive line. I want every year for there to be a top 3 pick on the offensive line, and I get a say in it.
Brock,
and I'll take the $45 million.
Brock, all due respect, you're not really in a position to negotiate or make demands after going 6-9.
Okay,
if you want those kind of terms, hold on.
We'll go back and look. Those kind of 6-9.
Wait a second. If you want those kind of terms and dictate stuff, that's great. Come back this year, play out the final year of contract, go to the Pro Bowl, take us to the Super Bowl. We'll give you whatever the hell you want, man. Okay. $70 million a year. You can be the GM of the team. We'll give you a part ownership stake, but not now. Not off this season.
We'll do that. Okay. But we want Kyle Shanahan out of the way because he cost so many games.
No problem. We were trying to fire him anyway. We're on the same page.
Rid of Kyle Shanahan so bad. He's everybody goes, but the guy just went to a Super Bowl. He was one ball off of a face mask away from losing in the first round. They won in spite of him, not because I watched last year and it was, oh God, just a nail biter at the end. He was trying to give it away and the guys were just too good not to,
He's very good at giving it away when you think he can't. I got to give it to him.
Yeah, he can pull defeat out of the mouth of victory every time. Lose this game.
Yes, there is. There is a way.
Yeah, let's stick with Jake Moody. I know we're going to do that. Because he missed an extra point. The difference in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Just horrendous. He's just horrendous. Not a coach.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. I don't know. People that he gives, like $20 million a year to love him.
He hasn't given me any money yet, but I've made money by proxy at his expense. So I like him. He can stay.
Well, I don't know if you can see how long I've been a member of you for like 3 years. Something like that. Been a while.
Yeah. You're one of the OGs, JC. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for calling in.
But the end it all, give Purdy, 3 years. Basically the Baker Mayfield deal. I think that'd be right.
That's what they should offer him. And if he says I'm worth more than that, say come back and prove it.
Yeah, with maybe an option for incentives.
Agreed.
But I don't think he's ever. Who is there ever been a quarterback? Any of them that would be good after 3 years with Kyle Shanahan?
Have we ever seen that? I mean, not Jimmy. Matt Ryan didn't have to do it. I don't know. But JC, I got to take some more calls, man. Thank you very much for calling.
Have a good day. Thanks, man.
All right. Take care. We got DJ Adams, Eric, and Leo. DJ.
What's going on, man?
What's going on?
Not much. What was I going to talk about? No. Luka, no.
We can talk about that.
I think that a lot of 49ers fans right now saw that flashy trade with Luka and Anthony Davis, and it's like, yo, we can do that. Possible. When I saw you post that video earlier today about Myles Garrett, I was like, Grant, no. We do not need to be doing that. Here's why.
They don't need the next Javon Kinlaw, though. They don't need the next Mike McGlinchey, though. I don't trust John Lynch to make the right pick. Not at all.
I think that with this pick 11, it's like a Nick Bosa thing. Remember how it was like you can't miss with Nick Bosa? I really think this is similar.
Kyle will find a way.
I disagree.
Maybe they will. Who do you like at pick 11?
Either of the offensive tackles, Will Campbell or Kelvin Banks. I think one of those two will be available. I do not want Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan. I wouldn't want him, and I think that's kind of around where he's going because I just don't want to tackle. That's it.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. And trading for Myles Garrett, you could just probably would not be able to re-sign Dre Greenlaw or Hufanga at that rate. And I think that Dre Greenlaw is probably the most important signing that they need to make this offseason.
It's true. Those guys are in the middle of your defense. Those are run defenders. Myles Garrett is another edge guy who's not going to prevent you from getting gashed between the A and B gaps. True.
Fred Warner seems to really want him back too. I think Salah will make it happen.
Fred Warner wanted Nick Sorensen to be his defensive coordinator.
Yeah, you're right. So I guess we can just never listen to Fred Warner anymore now.
They got to stop with players who want the. You're always going to. Anyway. Okay, no to Myles Garrett. Yeah. I mean, I don't really think he's coming to the Niners. It just seems like if you had some self-awareness and you're like, look, I don't feel confident about this pick right now. There's a lot of good players. I'm going to get the wrong one. Why don't I just go get Myles Garrett? At least I'll know, Hall of Fame player. But 2 first-round picks, it's a lot.
Say it doesn't work out this coming season, though. Then everyone would be like, yo, this was a waste. This was terrible. Why'd y'all make this trade? Where if you went and drafted someone, it's going to be like, okay, well, we have him for another 3 years, see where he develops, see how this goes. Just like with Ricky Pearsall, where everyone was down on
Myles Garrett and still win like 7 games. Because they can't stop the run. Their offensive line is trash. They have huge issues in their locker room. And Myles Garrett wouldn't necessarily fix any of those things, but he's great at what he does.
Still no, they're probably still not.
DJ, I don't like it.
That's good, though, because I don't think you should want to. I don't think Niners fans should want to.
I think the reason I want it because I know it's not going to happen. It feels like
it's because you saw Luka and AD. That's what you saw. You're like,
why? How did that happen? Look, I don't understand. But my question is, why didn't the Mavericks have a bidding war? Why would you not do that? I don't understand.
Because apparently they were checked out on Luka. Apparently that's what happened.
They were like, we can't do any better than Anthony Davis. That guy's great. He's an incredible player.
Watch the Mavs make it to the finals again and then lose.
I really want – all of a sudden, I'm sort of interested in watching basketball. I haven't really been interested the last couple of years, but now I want to watch the Mavs and the Lakers in particular. This is
They both play tomorrow. The Lakers play – actually, I think the Lakers play like – I don't know.
I feel like the Lakers aren't as interesting right now, though, because maybe I'm wrong. Luka and LeBron don't really fit, and it feels like Luka's there to replace LeBron, whereas the Mavs think this makes them better. I got to see this. I'm
watching both games tomorrow. I'm kind of excited. I'm not sure if both will be playing tomorrow, though.
It's 3 second bananas that have a chip on their shoulder for being second bananas in their career. Kyrie, Clay, and Anthony Davis. And now they all get to be on the team together and be a collection of second bananas. It's going to be great.
It's going to be so much fun to watch. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
It's either going to be I either want it to be terrible or the greatest thing ever. One of the two.
Well,
nothing in the middle because that's the one.
Kyrie Irving being a point guard, good luck. He's going to shoot.
He's never been the guy.
No.
Remember in Boston? That was terrible. Yeah. He's a cool playmaker. Some cool highlights. Appreciate you, Grant.
Appreciate you too, man. Thanks for calling in. Big downer, but he's probably right. But I don't like it. Do you listen to Draco the Ruler? Also, did you make an additional stop on International after the Tortas? I don't listen to Draco the Ruler that much, although maybe I would like him if I did. And no, I didn't make an additional stop on International after the Tortas. Whew, I wasn't at that part of International, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, Eric.
Hey, what's up, Grant?
Live from the man cave. What's going on?
You know it. Hey, you probably don't remember me, but I ran into you over the summer. I was walking across the street. You were on the phone. I was like, Grant, what's up, Grant?
In Santa Clara?
So nice. You got off the phone call. You gave me the time of day. You posed for pictures with me. I was so excited. I was like trying to take a picture. You're like, hey, Eric, you got to push the button, man.
Well, nice to see you again.
You too, man. I just shout out to everybody who watches Grant. Look, y'all might agree, not agree, but I have to say, after meeting Grant, one of the nicest guys, awesome and just so nice. So hey, big shout out.
I hate Eric to come on and say this. I appreciate you.
No, but hey, I really appreciate it. So hey, okay, let's talk some Niner football. So I'm a huge no, just like the last guy, and I'll tell you why. We have so many needs. We don't need that big splash free agent again. We have so many needs on offense. We have so many needs on defense. And to your point, Grant, do we really trust ourselves with 11th overall pick? I don't know about that, and I completely agree. So you know what we do? We trade back, and then we trade back again, and then we trade back again. Because guess what? The early to mid round for the first round, we're not so good at that. But the later rounds, yes. And we have so many needs. How many times we talk about how good the Eagles have gotten, how good the Lions have gotten? Why? The draft. Why are we not good right now? We had a good draft this last draft. The other three were terrible. Look how many times we missed in the first round.
To your point, also signing Hargrave, who's kind of a one-dimensional, splashy free agent.
There
I'm not saying Myles Garrett's
we thought we
one-dimensional,
needed maybe like one more, of course,
but it came at the expense of so much depth and so many players who aren't flashy but defended the run, and they're gone. Aziz Al-Shaair, Samson Ebukam, Jimmy Ward. Those were three right there. Yeah. So if you bring in Myles Garrett, you're going to lose Greenlaw. You're going to lose Hufanga. You're going to lose
a
lot of
need
guys.
Greenlaw. And I agree with, I think it was JC who said that's our number one thing that we need to sign in the offseason. Number one guy is definitely Greenlaw. Hufanga, he can walk, but Greenlaw we definitely need for two reasons. Not only for his impact play, but just like for the locker room mentality. And we talk about, toxic culture, set and the other. That is kind of like a get right signing. Let's get right mentally. And no, we're not one away. No, we're not in win right now. That's why we need to load up on draft picks. And we don't need to be giving away picks. We need picks.
Giving away 2 first-round picks for a defensive end who will be 30 this year? Yeah.
I don't think so.
That's probably not the most responsible thing to do.
Dare I say dumb?
I like doing dumb stuff every once in a while, though.
And as quality control,
I should know better.
I rely on you to
have
that influence because I know you got Kyle.
This is why I did the Cohn phone, though, because I need your input. I don't even know how I feel about it. I'm just processing the information. I didn't expect Myles Garrett to request a trade.
Hey,
the Niners should be doing this. In all seriousness, the Niners should be having a board meeting right now. Seriously. Jed York.
They should invite us.
John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan with us on the projector.
As advisors.
Absolutely.
We can go in person. I can fly up there, not a problem. I'm down here in LA. Or we can even do Zoom. It doesn't matter. Technology works.
Why not? The more information, the more voices, the better.
Agreed. And look, it's all good information, right? And why do people make bad decisions in corporations? They can't get
because they don't listen to Eric and me.
That's right. Boom.
That's right.
You know it.
Boom. Good stuff, dude. Thanks for calling in, man.
Hey, good seeing you again, Grant. Thanks for your time. Man, you're the best. Appreciate
Love your energy, dude. Great call.
Thanks, man. 2 coffees this morning.
People have been bringing their A game today. I appreciate it. We got Leo and Rich Gravy. Now, Rich is driving. So, Rich, you got about 5 minutes. I would appreciate you to pull over because if you were to get in a vehicular accident, I don't want to be involved or it's culpable in any way. But it's Leo's turn first. Rich, take your time. I have a feeling Rich has something good to say too. But Leo, I think you do as well. What's up, Leo?
What's up, Grant? Been a fan for a while. I think I started watching you since when the Niners lost to the Rams in the NFC Championship.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. But
that was a good one.
I'm like, man, everybody's kind of whatever, but I've been a fan since then. But about the Myles Garrett trade, I think at first I was like, oh, it'd be really cool. But I remember you talking about this like a while ago this year, that say in 2019 and even last year, even if we had a good defensive end, we kind of saw that at the end of the quarter. Even at the end, offensive line matters because I know even I see it sometimes. We're like, oh, look, Bosa was getting held. And then we kind of see that for the most part, offensive line is more important than the defensive end. And if you had to choose between signing Myles Garrett or Dre Greenlaw, I think I'd rather go with Dre Greenlaw than Myles Garrett just because we kind of saw how much of an impact Greenlaw makes to the defense. So I'd rather have him than Myles Garrett because he isn't really, at least from what I know, he's more of like, rush to the quarterback, which is fine, but I don't think that's what this team
and he's on the edge of your defense. Whereas like if teams can just run right down the middle, run right down your throat, your edge players aren't making an impact. But it's nice to have them and say that they're there and sell their jerseys.
No, exactly. And I think if we just get a better O-line, it's not only going to help Purdy, but it can help McCaffrey. Maybe, eventually, I hope he will get back to that. I think last year it was just so sad, man, because I like Jordan Mason, and when McCaffrey came, I'm like, oh man, like just wait until Shanahan uses both of them. It's going to be really special. And then he's just using McCaffrey, and then McCaffrey got injured, and Mason got injured, and then it was just downhill. And as much And as much as I want to say like go offensive line, I just feel like we might chalk it in the draft. That's what worries me the most. Is like if
they're going to go defense in the draft, and they're going to be like, well, we wanted to take an offensive lineman. Of course we wanted to take one. It just didn't fall that way.
Exactly, and then that I think that's what worries me the most. But I say no. I think offensive line, and I wanted to get your opinion about Purdy in that. So I was kind of seeing his first ever game against Tampa, right? And that game he was scrambling. I don't know if you remember, like he kind of ran towards, like you said, it was a short game, but he ran for a touchdown. And I'm like, man, why he hasn't really done that since that game? And this year, I'm like, man, he's such a good scrambler, and if they could do RPOs, and I'm like, well, this year he was really good at that, and then last year he didn't really do that, but he was really good at passing. So I'm like, maybe eventually if he can combine both, sure. But in order to do that, you do need an offensive line. And if we are going to pay him, which I'm on the fence, but it's just whatever, you do need an offensive line. So I don't know. I'm hoping that can happen.
Well, we'll see if Kyle Shanahan can get the memo. Leo, thanks for calling in. Great job.
You too, man.
All right, man. Take care. We got Rich Gravy pulled over for us. Last call of the day. First few calls were pro Myles Garrett trade. Last few calls, anti Myles Garrett trade. We're going to give Rich Gravy the last word on the topic. They're going to do some sleeper picks and talk about Chip Kelly. Rich Gravy, what's up?
Hey, Grant, my guy. I just want to check in with you, man. The Myles Garrett trade, this is the type of move you go in all in for. If Eddie DeBartolo was with the team and we were trying to win a Super Bowl like they went and got Deion, we're getting Myles Garrett. I mean, I don't care. Like, they gave up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance, and then they traded him for a third-round pick. So,
you want to play for a winner? That means you want to play for us. Cool, we got you.
We were in the Super Bowl last year. You guys want to go back to the Super Bowl? The Super Bowl is going to be in San Francisco this coming up year. You can play home field advantage in your own Super Bowl in your own backyard this year. Go get Myles Garrett. That was
Eddie DeBartolo would have done it.
All our chips in the middle.
Hell yeah.
Trying to win.
Did you hear a couple of weeks ago when Kyle Shanahan real casually was like, we've never even really gone all in. We've never really done that. Like, do it. They're going to fire you.
To me, going all in was the McCaffrey move. You traded like your whole draft class that year for Christian McCaffrey. And then we went to the Super Bowl. That was a going all in move. So there's a lot to say you've never went all in before.
It's true.
You definitely went all in.
It's true. Do it now. Do it again.
Yeah. I mean, I think that we have to address the trenches in the draft this year. Trenches. 2 D tackles, a defensive end, a guard, a center, a right tackle, the Belton guy. I see Kruger's been pumping him up. He looks like a pancake machine. We need to get physical. We need to get mean. We need to be the bullies again. And Myles Garrett, bro, he wants to win. San Francisco, logically, I think his cap hit is like $6 million. We just gave what's that guy's name we're getting rid of? Javon Hargrave, $20 million a year. He didn't earn a dime of it. So it's like, then they tried to go cheap at defensive tackle, get rid of Armstead and all of that. And look what happened. We can't even stop anybody. Everybody runs all over us. We're soft up the middle. They're running for 100 yards. Every running back is running for 100 yards. You know what I'm saying? There used to be 30, 40 games in a row. Nobody could run for 100 yards on the Niners. Now everybody's running on us. They're slapping us around. We're the weak sister in the NFC West. We're at the bottom. We're the bottom of the NFC West. So, like, I want to see the Niners get back to our greatness, get back to being bullies, get back to intimidating people, and that we don't intimidate anybody. Nobody's scared of us right now.
No one's scared of Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel in the boombox. It's not 2021 anymore. Myles Garrett would change things.
Myles Garrett plays in the wide 9. He's been he's a Hall of Famer. As soon as he gets off the field, like, you put him on one side and Bosa on the other side, we would terrorize quarterbacks for the next 5 years and probably win a couple championships.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and if they wanted to trade Bosa in a year or two, you could do that and still have the best edge rusher in football.
Still have the best edge rusher in football. Then think about if you hit on a couple of these draft picks, man. They got a bunch of defensive tackles the defensive tackle class is great this year. They got a bunch of pass rushers coming out, the Mike Green, the Nolan, they got a bunch of guys coming out this year. I'm like, dude, this year should be the year we should get back. They got 2 third-round picks, I think 2 fourth-round picks, a second and a first. That's the 11th overall pick. I mean, I know Cleveland would be interested in some of those assets, bro. Send us Myles Garrett. Give us the guaranteed thing. Because, we've picked Solomon Thomas in the first round. We've picked Javon Kinlaw in the
Trey
first round.
Lance.
I don't trust our picks in the first round, to be honest. So give it up. Send us Myles Garrett, the sure thing. Come on. That's my
Come
opinion.
on, man. Stop playing with us.
We're trying to win. Are we trying to go?
We're trying to win, Rich. Where you calling from, Rich? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Washington, D.C. right now. Shout out
up.
to the 49ers, Empire DMV. We'll be at the Buffalo Wild Wings running shop.
You're not from D.C., though.
I'm not from D.C. I'm from Richmond, California.
I could tell. Okay. I'm a
Richmond guy. So I grew up watching the Niners my whole life. 81, they had the 49ers. We're the 49ers, on the radio. They couldn't sing, but it was a great song anyways. You know what I'm saying? And we were winning championships. I want to see us back at the Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, restore the luster, bro. We haven't won a ship in like 20 years. We're looking like Dallas out
30.
here.
No. 30.
At least we've been a couple times, but going and losing is not any fun. So, I'm like, I want to go and win one, before it's all said and done. And Kyle Shanahan, y'all say that's your ultimate goal. I'd push all my chips in the middle. Give me Myles Garrett. Give me a dominant defensive line this year, an offensive line that's going to whoop people in the trenches. I mean, Jordan Mason was averaging 5-6 yards a carry, 800 yards. And my God, we got Salah back. Why would you let Dre Greenlaw go anywhere? I'd franchise the dude if I had to. I don't care about that injury stuff. You saw in the Super Bowl, we were going to win that Super Bowl if Dre didn't get hurt. And then he got hurt, and then what happened? And then this whole season without him, we don't want to be without him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a no-brainer. You don't let Dre Greenlaw. I know the Texans and everybody is waiting for us to be stupid enough to let him get out of town.
Did you see the Texicans?
Yeah, the Texicans, with D'Amico Ryans, they got Azeez Al-Shire. Would they not love to have Dre Greenlaw on the other side of him?
I would think they would.
I think they would. I think they would pay him handsomely, and we need to pay him handsomely and show him, look, he's our priority free agent. I don't care about anybody else. Dre Greenlaw, Brock Purdy, and give me Myles Garrett. We're going to the ship.
All day, every day, Kim has a question for you, Rich Gravy. She says, Why would Myles want to come to another bad team?
Another bad team? Kim, the Niners slander. Kim, we were in the Super Bowl last year, Kim. We've been to four NFC championship games and 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. What are you talking about? Another bad team? He hasn't been in the playoffs. He's been in Cleveland. That's a bad team. Like, the Niner fans are so spoiled. You guys get out of here with that. Look at him talking about why would he want to come to another bad team? We're not a bad team. We were bad this year, but we're not a bad team. Over the last 5-6 years, our track record shows we're a winning, contending championship.
I love these positive affirmations. They're wonderful.
Come on, man.
We're a good team. All right, Rich. Good stuff, dude. Thanks for calling in, man. You
all right, Grant. Take it easy, buddy.
All right, man. Later. That was great. You guys all did great today. Let's do some sleeper picks real quick before I get up out of here. And I do want to talk about Chip Kelly, if you'll indulge me, because damn, he's back. But first, Super Bowl sleeper picks. Patrick Mahomes. I think I've probably made conflicting sleeper picks all week, but I don't give a damn. Rushing yards, 29.5. More. Dude runs a lot in the playoffs. Saquon Barkley. No, I'm going to go out on a limb right here. Even though I think I've probably picked the over on this one many times, I'm going to say less, 114.5. I just feel like when we're breaking down the matchups with the Super Bowl, we always talk about players. People don't talk about coaches very much, when I think the coaching matchups often determine the winner. And a big reason that the Chiefs beat the Eagles 2 years ago is because Andy Reid just freaking dominated Jonathan Gannon and scouted his defense and understood that if he puts someone in pre-snap motion, that they're going to squirm the safeties, and took advantage of that and got a guy wide open in the red zone twice for 2 touchdowns. That's a big reason the Chiefs won that game. Now, you got Vic Fangio in there. So I think the matchup between Andy Reid and Vic Fangio should be somewhat even. Whereas the matchup between Steve Spagnuolo and Kellen Moore is freaking a huge mismatch. So I don't see Steve Spagnuolo letting Saquon Barkley run for 114.5. Maybe 114, but not 114.5. Jalen Hurts, every Niner fan's favorite quarterback, rushing touchdowns. The fact that it's just set at 0.5 is baffling to me. Absolutely baffling. Almost seems too easy, but I want it. taking that one. It's easy money. Travis Kelce. Anytime touchdown in the Super Bowl. I don't think Vic Fangio's going to let it happen. I'm going to go less for Travis Kelce. I just don't think he's getting old, man. Xavier Worthy, though. That's a guy who's got. How about AJ Brown? Will they throw it to him? Receiving yards, 71.5. Yes, because they're going to have to throw. I don't feel very good about that one, though. Dallas Goedert. He looks like Luigi. Doesn't he? 54.5. Less Dallas Goedert. No. Get out of here. Okay, those are my picks. I'm making them. I'm flexing them. I'm submitting them. Download the app yourself. What? All right, man. Let me. What? Why do they do me like that? Rushing yards? Okay, I'm going to change Mahomes from rushing yards to rushing touchdowns. Yes, there's the one. I want that one. Boom. I don't even know what's happening. But download the app. Maybe you can figure it out. Use promo code Cohn, COHN, and get entered to win a signed George Kittle jersey. It's right there. The signature's on the 8. In the 8. And then finally, Chip Kelly is back in the NFL. He was at UCLA for a long time. That's like the only team I root for. I went to UCLA, and I really don't like Chip Kelly. So I couldn't even root for my team. Then he left. UCLA football sucks now, so nothing really to root for. Went to Ohio State, another team that no one really likes. He's an offense. He's rebranded himself as an offensive coordinator because I guess even he understands that he's not exactly a leader of men, children, anyone. Ducklings, not a leader. But as an offensive coordinator, he's still not good. That's the thing. And now he's with the Raiders. As an offensive coordinator in college, on a team like Ohio State that just pays their players a lot of money and has a bunch of 5-star recruits, he seems to be good enough, considering he just won a national title. That's what they call it. But in the NFL, we've seen him before. What is the Chip Kelly experience? Unless he's learned something and changed, which I don't think he has. The Chip Kelly experience is you don't huddle. You race to the line of scrimmage to run the same 4 plays and go 3 down. His running game, he's a run-first coach, and he's got the full RPO package, which I'm sure is why Pete Carroll wanted him, because he's looking around the league and saying, I don't see any Kyle Shanahan schemes in the Final Four, but I do see a lot of zone read RPO schemes, particularly in the Super Bowl. Both teams, Andy Reid, Nick Sirianni, do a lot of that stuff. So he's trying to go where the league is going. And I guess technically Chip Kelly represents that philosophy, scheme, approach to offensive football. Problem is he's a terrible coach. And when it comes to passing the ball, his scheme is like freaking Dick and Jane. I mean, there's nothing sophisticated about it. So we've seen him before. He usually is pretty good in the first quarter, maybe the first half. Then the other team gets a feel for the pace of their offense and how freaking simplified everything is, and they shut it down in the second half, and he loses. So I do think it's interesting, though, from the Raiders' perspective. That's an awful organization that doesn't really have options. They have to bring in people like Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly, but I'm curious to see what they do. Are they going to bring in a mobile quarterback? Are they going to try to be sort of like is Pete Carroll trying to recreate Washington, right? Dan Quinn was his defensive coordinator. They're similar coaches with similar personalities and schemes. Maybe Pete Carroll's looking at Dan Quinn thinking, man, everyone left him for dead. No one thought he'd have a second act. Maybe if I get an offensive coordinator who's similar to Cliff Kingsbury, I can be successful on the Raiders. And maybe he sees Chip Kelly as being similar to Cliff Kingsbury. I never thought anything of Cliff Kingsbury before this year. But if the Raiders think that they can sign Chip Kelly and then draft Shedeur Sanders, I don't think that's going to be – it's not exactly the same thing as drafting Jaden Daniels. So, and also the thing with Chip Kelly, does he even like mobile quarterbacks? That's my question. He wanted Nick Foles. He wanted Blaine Gabbert. He wanted Will Howard and Kyle McCord at Ohio State. Does he want mobile quarterback? I don't know. I'm curious to see what the Raiders do over there because that team is a dumpster fire. All day, every day. Kim says, so you think this is a good team? Rich Gravy was on a roll. I didn't want to correct him, but I'm kind of with you all day, every Kim. I don't think this team is particularly good. They were in the Super Bowl a year ago, and now this team is broken down, busted. Anyway, that's my show. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate all of you guys. Cohn Phone MVPs, all of you. Go have a great day. I'll be back later on today streaming with Larry, 4 o'clock. See you guys then.